What's up, everybody? This is Chris Albert. I'm still coming to you from Las Vegas. A couple of months ago, I did, maybe not even a couple of months ago, I think it was about a month ago, I did a video of me driving around in a car talking about steroids. I got a lot of heat from that because, my opinions on steroids are not what your normal talking head opinion is. I don't have a moral problem with steroids at all. I don't think that there's anything wrong with taking them. Under certain caveats. And what I want to do right now is kind of clarify that right now. I'm going to talk to you about who I think are better candidates for steroids, who I think or when you should think about starting steroids, if you're thinking about starting steroids, and why I don't really have a moral problem about talking about them, and where I think the actual moral peril lies. First things first. If you are deciding to take steroids and you don't have a good knowledge or a good base in training and nutrition, then you shouldn't even think about taking them. There is no reason for you to take them if you are not going to put in the work. A lot of people who wrote on my last blog, they said, oh, of course, steroids is cheating because blah, 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 you're going to grow a lot faster than. Yeah, absolutely fucking right. You're going to grow a lot faster than the normal person. But if you do not eat and if you do not train properly, if you do not train harder than the average individual when you're on steroids, and if you do not eat properly, then you're not going to get any kind of good results. You might get a little bit more muscular, you might get a little bit more sexually active, but you're not going to get very good results. Number two, if you're not willing to put the research in, meaning understanding the side effects, understanding that certain side effects are going to happen to you, understanding the risks of abusing a drug, understanding the risks of infection and things that come along with giving yourself injections. If you're not willing to put that research in and you're not willing to do that research on your own, or at least find somebody who knows that, then absolutely you should not be using steroids. These drugs are nothing to mess around with. You could really fuck yourself up if you don't know what types of dosages to take. If you don't know what types of drugs to take for your own goals, then yeah, you're going to screw yourself up. For instance, I watch a lot of the other guys, and I have a lot of respect for guys like Elliot Hulse. Elliot Hulse has talked about his own steroid use in the past, and one of the drugs he talked about taking was Tren, and that was his first cycle. Now, if you're taking Tren on your first cycle, there's a whole lot of side effects associated with that particular drug that normal people aren't going to be able to deal with. Insomnia, increases of anger, a cardiac effect where you're not going to be able to breathe very easily. If you're a new user and you're not used to taking any sort of steroid or anything like that, and you choose to take that drug, then yeah, you're probably not going to have a successful cycle. There's a lot more milder drugs that, if you understand and do your research, would probably be better for you to start with. I forgot what number I'm on, but I'll say number 3. Number 3, it's your own moral decision to take these. Now, I am 100% of the belief that you need to find your own genetic potential before you even think about taking drugs. You need to figure out how far you can go naturally before you decide to say, okay, I'm going to rev this up big time and just go full steam ahead. I really fully believe that anybody who comes to these drugs as a first resort is not destined to be successful as an athlete or destined to be successful in their goals because they don't understand their bodies yet. You need to understand your body, how you work, where your mental capacity is before you decide to do these things. Number 4, you need to have the money to do them. Because if you don't have the money to do them, if you can't afford to do the post-cycle therapy, then again, you might run out and have to come off, be forced to come off, and you'll be shit out of luck, because what happens if your testicles shut down on their own, and you don't have the hormones to replace those? You're going to have to wait at least a month till they restart. Now, you need to do your research, figure out what a good post-cycle therapy is for you. You need to have the money for that post-cycle therapy and the drugs that you're taking, and you need to understand how long you want to be on, how long you should be on, and when you want to come off. I'm not going into any kind of detail for this, because I'm not making this a prescriptive video. I'm not going to tell you how to do these drugs or anything like that. I want you to just understand where I'm coming from with my stance on these drugs. Number five. Well, sticking with number five. Again, it is your own moral compunction to do these drugs. Now, I have complete respect for somebody who's going to stay natural. But if you decide to do it, it's your decision. It's nobody else's decision. You shouldn't ask somebody and say, "Oh, should I be on the juice? Should I start this now?" This is something you're going to be putting into your body. This is a foreign oil that you're going to be introducing into your system. And if you're not willing to make that decision for yourself, then again, you're probably likely to become a drug abuser, and you shouldn't be on these drugs. Addition to that, just because you're on steroids, it doesn't give you a license to be an asshole. These drugs will not automatically make you an asshole. If you are an asshole and you say, "Hey, I'm on steroids right now, I want to fuck shit up or do crazy," of course, yeah, you're going to act like that. But by and large, for people I know, for people from my own experiences, these types of drugs can make you extremely calm. They're nothing to mess with. But if you do them right, then things like roid rage and the types of anger things that we see on after-school specials and things like that shouldn't be happening. Lastly, what I want to say is that I'm not advocating the use of anabolic steroids. I don't think that everybody should be using them, and I don't think that kids should be using them. I don't think that if you're 18 to 21 years old and you're thinking about doing them, I think it's definitely not something you should be thinking about. I mean, we've got guys on the internet who are that young who have been taking them for a while, and they've had success, and I have nothing bad to say about them. But again, if you're a typical college kid and you're doing this just to go to fucking frat parties and fucking flex for girls, then it's not a drug that you should be using. This is something that you use if you want to get to a higher performance level. And if you're just doing it for that, save that shit for the fucking performance athletes who need the fucking shit. I know that there's probably going to be some people out there who have personal stories and things like that of negative things they've had to deal with them, and I'm not taking away from those people. I'm not taking away from anybody who might have a moral problem against them. I'm just giving you my argument for why they're not the worst thing in the world, and why I think some people should be able to use them and some people shouldn't. The bigger moral sin, in my opinion, is when you get guys who look like these IFBB pros, and then you get kids who really want to look like them, and they don't understand the systematic damage and stress they need to put on their bodies in order to look like guys like Jay Cutler or Kai Green or things like that. I think that to say that you get like this without drugs is an awful lie, a ridiculous lie, and to allow anybody to believe that is awful. And I've worked with both natural athletes and people who use, and like I said, I take nothing away from anybody who wants to go natural. And I think it's a wonderful thing if you want to go natural. But to think that you're going to get to the highest levels of the IFBB or anything like that without the use of steroids or performance-enhancing drugs is insane. There are natural leagues out there for you who want to do this, but and there's some great natural athletes out there who do compete in those leagues. So that's my take. Again, you don't have to agree with me. I'm not sitting here and being an asshole and saying, all right, steroids are the shit. You need to take this, you need to take that. What I am saying is these are things that you need to consider before you use these drugs if you're going to use them. These are things that you need to understand. And if you're a kid and you're thinking about taking them, please take into consideration what I've had to say. So, from Vegas, this is Chris Albert. You got questions, you got complaints, hit me up at gettingshredded@gmail.com.